we're down here at the far end of the field, and I want to show you guys this concept called swales and berms, which is a concept in permaculture. If you guys know what permaculture is, it means permanent agriculture. It is an ecosystem, community-based approach to farming. It's more than just farming. It's kind of having agriculture at the center of your community and then building a community around that. I highly recommend reading up on permaculture. The principles are really good for sustainable farming, and we mix a lot of permaculture ideals into this farm. In fact, the two guys who worked with me on designing this farm, Josh and Isaac Rosenberg, they're very, very big into permaculture. They study it a lot, so they kind of designed the farm on an initial basis with just permaculture concepts. So if you look out on the field, what you'll notice is that we have these raised beds, and we have the pathways in between. And you'll also notice that the field is on a slope. So the top of the slope is up there on the right, and it runs down towards the left and continues down all the way past our greenhouse, past our fence, and down to a little seasonal wet streamland area, wetlands area down there. So we have a slope on our property, which is actually a great thing. Flat ground's nice too, but a slope is lovely because we know where the water's going to go. Water's gonna rain up here, and it's going to go that way. So now we had to think about how do we harness that water to use it on our field and keep it in our field. So swales and berms, again, are a really great concept in permaculture that we kind of took and made our own. So let me explain to you how we did this. So what we have here is a raised bed or a berm. In between, on the other sides of the raised bed are called swales. So this is a swale here, and that's a swale there. You guys can see our garlic growing here. But the swales on either side, although they just look like pathways now, they're actually large trenches that were dug by hand. So I want to describe to you that they are actually 2 feet deep and 18 inches wide. And these swales run from right here at the end of this bed all the way down to the other side of the field. And the swales run literally in between every single raised bed we have. So you imagine we have 120 raised beds. We have possibly even double that number of swales. So the swales, again, they're 2 feet deep, 18 inches wide. They're dug in between each raised bed, and the foundation of all of these raised beds is the soil that we took out of the swales. We took that soil out and we flipped it onto the raised bed, and then we amended it with compost. So this mound isn't produced by compost only, it's mainly produced by the native soil we took out of the swale.
And what's the importance of having the native soil? I mean, can't you just buy like extremely high quality soil from Home Depot or someone else? I mean, what's the...
Well, the thing about farming is that, yes, you can. It's a great thing to have nice topsoil to bring in, and we've brought in a lot of compost and topsoil to this field. Our soil here is clay. It's very, very acidic clay, and it has a ton of rocks in it. You know, we're in northern New Jersey, we're in Mahwah, New Jersey, and we are next to we're in Bergen County, but we're right on the border of Rockland County, so Rockland County. So we literally are next to a place called Rockland, and there's rocks everywhere in this soil. So when you have clay, acidic, rocky soil, it's important to start to get that incorporated into your farm field. And don't just throw the old soil out, right? You want to keep the base soil and amend it. Because the true value of farmland is what the farmer has done to the soil that is there, right? If I just bring soil in, it's a great initial step to get jump started, but you have to start to incorporate that base soil. So we took that base soil, we put it as a base layer of our raised beds, and then through the process of how we take care of our raised beds, broad forking, tilthering, compost adding, which I'll show you guys later, we've incorporated that compost into that soil and started to make it richer.
Okay.
Just to be clear, the swales, I told you guys, the swales are 2 feet deep, 18 inches wide, but they are backfilled with wood chips.
Backfilled with wood chips.
Right. So we backfill the swales with wood chips because wood chips are hyper absorbent. They soak up rainwater like a sponge. So now if you look out on the field and you think about this, we have 70, 80, maybe 100 swales on this field, and all of them are backfilled with wood chips. And so when it rains here, our field acts as a giant sponge, a giant rain barrel, and it soaks up water in our swales and holds it for weeks, which allows us to have very little irrigation needs for this field. So to give you guys some perspective, last summer, for the entire growing season, we irrigated our crops a total of 8 times. 8 times for the season, and the main time when we irrigated our crops was during the summer.
And let's get some perspective of that compared to another farm of the average size without this kind of, you know, the swell system.
Yeah, a normal farm, this type of farming practice, sustainable agriculture style without a swale and berm system, they're going to be irrigating a minimum of twice a week.
Wow.
Twice a week. So 8 times for the year. Now, when we plant our seedlings, right, when we plant our crops, we will water those by hand. We'll water those for upwards. The maximum we'll go is 2 weeks. So we'll water them, you know, every other day for a week or two to